Hello, it is Thursday on the Lancers, which means you're here with the Crimson Angel 100. I almost wasn't going to have fan art, mainly because I just woke up this morning and I realized it was Thursday. So I quickly sketched it up this morning, so it took me about an hour or so. And as suggested by Sam Winchester Forever, it is a Neal Baelfire comparison. So it's not an installment of Once Upon a Style, it is still fan art, and I have a lot to say about that episode. And so bear with me, it's going to be a long one. So here, of course, is Neal slash Baelfire. I think this is a better angle. There we go. Now, first of all, I'm really angry that he died, and the way he died, of course. At least he found out that Tamara was bad, and, Emma wasn't crazy or anything. He actually found that out before he died, and he admitted his feelings for Emma, that he still loved her and that she loved him. Unfortunately, it was right when she let him go at the portal, so it's like, I almost felt like, the writers pretty much ripped my heart out, crushed it, put it in a blender, and gave it back to me as smoothie, because it was just really like I had this, like, they have so much chemistry, and I feel like they're so perfect for each other. I really can't see anyone else with Emma. I mean, yeah, I'm not against anyone shipping Emma with Hook or anything, but I kind of see them more as like friends with benefits instead of an actual relationship. You know. Anyway, I still think that Baelfire, who's the younger Neal, I still think he becomes Peter Pan. Why do I think that? Well, when it came to that whole flashback sequence, hopefully you can even see it. When it came to, there we go. When it came to the whole flashback sequence, Wendy was describing it as a shadow, and it was a shadow. It wasn't a boy at all. It looked like Baelfire, a silhouette, but it was just a shadow. And I think, of course, he's going to spend time with Jolly Roger for probably a few years in Neverland time, and he will be raised by um, Captain Hook as like a father figure, and I think Hook is going to know that that's Neela's son, and that's why he's gonna raise him, because when Hook, if you remember, when Rumpelstiltskin was on the pirate ship, he said, "How could you leave Bay?" Obviously meaning their son. So he's gonna know that if he says his name is Bay, he's gonna connect the dots. That's Mila's son, and he's gonna take care of him, just because that's the only thing he has left connected to the son. Because he has no, as far as I'm aware of, there's no hatred towards him, because it's not his fault that Mila was killed or anything. It's Rumpelstiltskin. So all his feuding is towards, Rumpelstiltskin. That is to say that I don't think that their feud will, flourish later on once he becomes psychically connected and, physically connected to the Shadow, and he becomes Peter Pan. Um, now, okay. First of all, I have no sympathy for Tamara or Greg slash Owen. I have none after what they've been doing. First of all, I felt it was completely unnecessary for Owen slash Greg to be torturing Regina with complete electroshock therapy type of thing. I thought it was like, it's like, geez, couldn't you think of a different way to interrogate her? I mean, seriously. And I thought that was completely necessary, and the fact that, Tamara was completely, like, she didn't give a damn about Neal at all. That was just completely, like, messed up. It was just, it was completely messed up. It was completely messed up. One thing I have to say is that, with I'm gonna try to do an exposition of the whole magic versus science thing, because I know that a lot of people are like, how could August get electrocuted when he's made of wood? How could they nullify her magic with nanites with the cuff, which I thought was kind of weird. I'm gonna try and explain it any way I could think of with all my sci-fi background and background of reading old comic books from the 1970s and the spectacularness that reflect the impossible as possible. The only thing that I could think of is that magic is a form of energy in their world, that it could be classified as a form of energy. Thusly, it could be stored and, of course, somewhat destroyed in one form or another. So, if magic is a form of energy, then possibly the wood that Pinocchio was made out of, it's a conductor of that energy, which is why he could probably get electrocuted. I know it's a weak exposition, but that's really the only thing I could think of. And the same thing with Regina is that, since she has magic and she's able to conjure it and use it, her body probably gives up a abnormal amount of electricity that her brain would emit, because of course her body runs through electricity throughout her body, because her brain is pretty much a very squishy computer. So probably their way of exploiting that is putting those nanites in her body, which are on the leather cuff. The leather cuff nanite thing didn't make any sense, but probably the nanites were able to absorb that extra energy that was being given off in her body. That is really the only exposition I could really think of to explain the whole magic versus science thing. But I'm sure someone else could think of a better exposition, and feel free to leave a comment below on why you think it would work. But that's what I came up with. And I have my prediction for the finale, and for what I think will happen in Season 3. Let me show the thing again, because I feel really bad for Neal. First of all, I don't think he's really dead. Even though he was shot, and even though he was thrown in the portal, I think there is still a very, 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 very slim chance that he's alive. Why do I say that? I think if he fell into a world with magic, there is a possibility that it was a world that has magic enough to heal his wound and make him survive and thrive and everything. And he'll find his way back somehow. One thing that I forgot to mention is that he's his Rumpelstiltskin's son. I know a lot of people are just thinking, duh. But what I'm trying to say is, he's the whole reason Rumpelstiltskin made this curse to begin with. And he finally had him, and he squandered that time to be with Crazy Lacey, and now he's gone. So if anything, if Rumpelstiltskin wants to kill someone, go ahead and kill Tamara, because I don't really care, because she's really pissed me off, and so did Owen/Greg. So if anyone's going to kill those two, I'd rather be Rumpelstiltskin, and then he'll go on the path of redemption afterwards, because it's just, oh my goodness, it was just crazy. I have no remorse and no sympathy for those two characters at this point in time. For the way, I'm not an Evil Regal fan. I'm not. I'm not a huge Evil Regal fan, but I'm kind of warming up to it. Only if like the whole Snow Regina feud is kind of diminished, because I don't really want to root for Regina if she's gonna go against Snow, because I like Snow as well. So if she's gonna be part of the Charming family, and they're gonna unite their forces, then yes, I will become an Evil Regal, where they're coming together and everything. And I finally appreciated that Charming said, despite everything that you put through, you're still family. It took her having to be kidnapped and having to be electrocuted to get to that point, but they finally got there. I feel like, okay, the town's gonna explode. That's the whole thing for the trigger to undo the thing. Now there's two scenarios that could happen. I know that was 2 twos, so that's really 4, but there are 2 scenarios I think could happen. One, the town will actually explode, or they're gonna, kind of make you think it will, and then in the premiere Season 3, they'll resolve it. Or the town won't explode, they'll save it, and everything will be fine. I think the town won't explode, and I think it's gonna, it's gonna explode somehow. Emma's gonna survive, because she wasn't from that town. She wasn't from Fairy. She was from, she was from Fairy Tale Land, but she's one that's kind of immune to all that stuff because she's a savior. So she could go and leave the town as well as she pleases. So I think she'll probably survive, and maybe Henry as well. And then she'll have to go back in time, very much Warehouse 13 finale style, like the last finale that they had, where the whole warehouse exploded and they had to bring it back through time travel. So I think something like that is going to be similar, where the town will explode, Regina will probably die, and then they'll go back in time rewind time in the premiere season 3 to bring the town back, bring Regina back, and possibly even bring Neal back. So hopefully that will happen. And I think that's everything I have to say right now. And oh, one last thing for my prediction for season 3 overall. Of course, this whole secret organization that's like all this sciencey stuff that's against magic and it's unholy and everything, they're of course going to be a major player in season 3. Of course, I think that's kind of said and done. But I think it's going to be where their 2 agents are going to be dead, but the town will still be intact, and then they're going to come to Storybrooke because now it's on a map. Before it was cloaked with magic applied on a map, but now it's on a map, so it's easy to be found. So they're going to go there, and they're going to go there with weapons and everything, and then Emma's going to have to try and protect her family, protect the town, and do the best she can. And I really want Emma to use magic. I was expecting when Neal got shot, I was expecting her to pull a Paige and be able to heal him, kind of like Paige from Charmed, and just by her admitting that she loved him, that she was going to get healed. Honestly, I thought that was going to go down, but that's not what happened. So, hopefully time travel will kind of go into play where she'll rewind time and be able to undo what has been done. And like she'll have to undo everything by, saving Neal, retrieving the Black Diamond, and all that stuff in order to, save everything. And I think the whole Dark Rumbell thing is going to be a bigger storyline in season 3. Side note, I just realized this. He wasn't a main character in this season. He was a side character. But yet he was in more episodes than Ruby, and Ruby was supposed to be a regular in this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ruby was barely in this. In fact, I will dare to say that she was in this season less than in season 1. She wasn't even in the background that much. Why? Because they had so many characters in this season that some of their regulars kind of got lost in the shuffle. Like, in my opinion, they really didn't know what to do with Belle. They really didn't know what to do with Ruby. Because they had all these extra characters thrown into the show. Like the whole Tamara Greg thing, I felt they could have saved completely for season 3 and just focused on Cora being the main villain for this end of the season. That's what I would have done. I would have had Cora be the main villain, just focus on her and the whole book thing. And I would have saved that for the finale, instead of, it being these 2 knuckleheads. I would have had it where they were still in the town, but their storyline I would have saved for season 3. But, I think I rambled long enough. I think I went on long enough, and I commend anyone who has been watching this whole video. And of course, here's the fan art again of Neal and Baelfire, as suggested by Sam Winchester Forever. And please leave comments on any character that you would love to see in a Once Upon a Style segment down below, and write your comments on what you think will happen in the finale. Do you think I'm in the ballpark, or do you think I'm way off? Write your comments below, and write your what you think it will happen in the finale. Do you think it's in that vicinity, or do you think something completely different? I just hope Regina doesn't die. That's all I hope. If she does, I hope she comes back, because that would really be bad for the show. That's all I'm saying.